Daniel and Todd. Happy Monday, everyone. Daniel, you're full mode today.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday Real Estate Coaching Tips, and typically I'm here with Todd in the morning. Todd is off doing some more exciting things, apparently, because he was unable to join us this morning. But I've got an awesome person here. His name is Jamie Miller. He is the CEO of the Art of Conscious Communications, and he's also going to be our guest presenter at our Lunch and Learn educational series that's coming up next Friday, February 18th, 12 o'clock. So if you're interested in this, please communicate with Todd or myself. Welcome, Jamie.
Cheers. Appreciate you for having me, Daniel.
And just a little bit about Jamie. I've met Jamie on a couple of occasions, and he delivers a great presentation all about the art of conscious communication, which is how we as real estate agents or just humans in general can communicate more effectively to those listening to us. And who doesn't want to learn strategies for communicating more effectively? It's something, I have 2 kids. He gives great advice on communicating more effectively with your children. Tons of customers out there, and it's been a real pleasure every time I've been in the audience for one of your presentations. So we're excited to have you, Jamie.
Thank you for that edification. I appreciate that, Daniel. Like a lot of people, just to elevate your point, people are like, oh, yeah, but talking to clients is not the same as talking to kids. I basically share it's the exact same verbiage. The same way that you'd want to talk to your kids is the same way to get clients involved.
So when we end here, I'm going to be emailing Jamie a long list of bullet points that I need my son to actually comply with, and he's going to be sharing how I can get my son to comply with all of my requests, and that's going to be really exciting. So thank you in advance, Jamie. You didn't know about that, but thought I'd share that with everyone.
I didn't. Yeah, I'll do that with a pleasure, Daniel. Cheers.
So Jamie, can you share the art of conscious communication? Can you share what conscious communication is?
Right. I tell you what, I'll do it this way. I'll share what not conscious communication is for your audience. Your audience is predominantly realtors, correct?
For the most part, yes. And
okay.
and my mom. Hi, okay. Mom.
I've got my mum as my biggest fan too. Love it. All right. So here's what conscious communication isn't, and realtors can think out there for themselves. Let's say, I'll give you a couple of examples. One is when realtors are working with buyers, and someone says, I want to hold off, I think the market's going to crash. When a realtor asks that person, what makes you think the market is going to crash? That is not conscious communication. You're asking someone who's not the expert a question that gives them an ability to justify that. Now, I'll flip it. Sellers, let's say you're looking to get a listing, and a seller says, I think my home is worth X. Every realtor on the planet says, how did you come up with that price? Where did that come from? Again, that is not conscious communication, because you're again asking a question that gives someone the ability to justify something, all right, that takes them away. And then a third one, just for tip, when anyone comes up to someone, all right, at a networking event or anywhere, because anytime someone comes up to you and says, what do you do? That is an opportunity to get a client. And I'm yet to meet a realtor that says anything other than a statement. And some of them try to sound professional. Some of them just say, I'm a realtor. Some of them say, I run a real estate business. And then I'm like, and all right, there's no value proposition as to what extraction of value from the other individual. And the realtor problem is there's thousands of realtors stood within a radius that can all say the same things. So hopefully, Daniel, that's a good way to say conscious communication is saying things, asking good questions to actually get the outcome that you really want from an interaction quicker, with urgency. For those realtors that want to bring on clients within one meeting, all right, there are specific things that they can do.
Yes, so that's awesome. And to your point of what it's not, when you ask a customer, how did you arrive to that price, or how did you arrive to that conclusion? I feel like you can be setting yourself for having a bit of a conflict, because now
it's a battle. You're giving, exactly. And you caused the battle,
and you've asked for it, asked for it, almost correct. Like declaring war in a sense. Tell me what makes you believe that, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Correct. Oh, by the way, since you bring up mums and sons and stuff, if your son does something wrong, for anyone else who's got kids on this platform or even in a relationship and someone does something wrong to you, the first question most people ask is, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? That's not the answer. That's not the question you want the answer to. If your son ever does something that he does something naughty, rather than saying, why did you do that? You should say, hey, why shouldn't you have done that? And then you'll see the eyes pop into the head. They start thinking. Now they start sharing. All right, and so you see, oh, they do have a greater understanding. So yes, correct, Daniel. You're giving them the ability, and then you have no choice yet to battle them, have an argument about what they're saying.
Yes, that's right. And what would you say to someone who asks, is conscious communication the same as the art of selling?
In all truth, I've studied from lots of different arenas, Daniel. There's lots of different, there's ninja selling, there's like Brian Tracy's, Grant Cardone's, there's tons of different people. Here's my belief. I call conscious communication because people don't like the word sales. All right. Yet sales isn't everything. Getting my kids to eat vegetables is selling them something, Daniel. We all teach things with our own flavors. Do you know Gil Ramos, for instance?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He teaches the word be curious. I've got a number of Gil's his actual team members as clients of mine, and I teach them the word gather information. All right. It's the same thing as be curious, yet they'll go back to Gil. Oh my God, Jamie taught me the most amazing thing. And it's like, so to answer your question, Daniel, it could be very well the same as art of selling. It could be the same as many things. It's the way that we learn information. And sometimes we don't take it from our own parents or our own people. It's the case of, oh my God, like it just was taught in a certain fashion that resonated for them.
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. You know, so much goes into the delivery and how you ask questions. We're super excited to have you present. Are you going to? How would you describe what the content of the presentation will be February 18th for us in Altamont Springs?
Okay, I'm going to teach the content's going to be teaching. How do you go into your daily life as a realtor and bring all your glorious miscellaneous ingredients that go into making you up as a person? All right. So that I'm going to teach you things so that you don't come across as robotic. All right. If you're following a script word for word, for instance, which a lot of realtors do, it's a robotic element. If you're sending out any emails to clients and all it is a case of, you could just change the name out, it's robotic. I'm going to teach two powerful words, Daniel, that when people use it in their dialogue, they're going to elevate their chances immensely of bringing on listings and buyers within one meeting. Just by using those two words, they're going to have greater ability of doing that. Without giving the cat out of the bag, I'll teach them a one-off question they can ask someone, so it gets the person selling themselves without them saying anything. If they're going into a meeting saying, let me tell you all about me and EXP or whatever brokerage beforehand at the beginning, all right, they're doing a very amateur approach. All right. And I will promise to deliver one-off question that people can say and ask, all right, where the person in front of them will start selling themselves and they'll gather all the wonderful information on the planet.
That's awesome.
That's good enough.
Yes, no, that's going to be incredible. Something that I really enjoyed last time I was present for you presenting was how to get your clients to basically answer a question, respond in a way where you don't have to ask them to agree to something. Their response is their agreement to engage with you, without having to ask for a yes or no. It's more of they're volunteering to work with you rather than you having to ask for the business. Once you're able to deliver your value to the customer, once you're able to share with why they should work with you, their agreement to work with you becomes voluntary in a sense. Well,
basically, the whole idea of to go into a dialogue with another person is to make it their idea. All right. All right. So first off, second off, you use the word value. Any realtors who are listening into this, who if they're ever being asked, would you accept less than 3% commission, or having to have conversations with buyers where the buyer's going to have to come up with the lion's share because the seller's agent isn't paying 3% or whatever the amount might be, Daniel. All right. There's the word value in itself is not being extracted from the potential client. All right. And that's not being done because the realtor is not asking the best questions to get them to a place of where they can really value. So it's all going to be someone else's idea. If I want to, if I can end my dialogue with these words, or your clients can end the people that you're looking to, hopefully, would I be correct, Daniel, in that today's 20 minutes, 30 minutes with me, whatever we discuss right now, right? If you and me, you'd want to be making sure that the audience is like, damn, that's some powerful stuff, right?
100%.
To learn and come along on the 18th.
100%.
So I need to end dialogue with the words, I agree with you. All right. So I would just be like, hey, would you agree that a lot of realtors might come across as robotic? Yes. Why do you think so? And then they're going to now tell me all the reasons why they think so. Right. How would it feel not to be a robot and be your authentic self? Oh my God, Jamie, that would be amazing. Okay. So if I was holding an event to teach people that stuff, where do you think you should be? I should be at that event, and I'm going to say I agree with you. What I've not done is, guys, we're going to have an event. I want you to be there. You're going to learn da 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 da. Right? That's me telling, and I use the worst words on the planet, which is I want. You'll not hear me say the words I want unless I'm teaching people not to say them. And the people who are watching this, if you do anything that alludes to, I would just like I want or anything that's like that. That's a key ingredient that's causing you problems.
Also, I think what goes along with I want is you should. What do you think about that? You should.
I don't have a necessary problem with you should, as long as it's, if any realtors are ever facing where, oh my goodness, I've got to ask for the business now. All right. Like it's like this monumental thing. You've missed so many key ingredients in the build-up. That's where those power words on the 18th. I am going to leave some stuff for the 18th. All right. And I'm going to teach powerful words that you can use. So when it comes to, okay, the next step is so simple. All we're going to do is just write out this listing agreement. Here's one I prepared earlier. All right. And it's just going to be so seamless in the tonality rather than, oh my goodness, I've had the discovery on the phone. I'm now in front of them. I've talked to them. I now have to bring out the paperwork. If you're not delivering that with a seamless confidence, you've missed certain key ingredients, Daniel. So you could technically, like, you should be filling this out now based on what, and like, look, I just did something. And if you watch the tape back, before your head nodded, I went like this and your head started nodding. We can get people to do things we want. Like we can get someone to do a reaction to any action that we do without even saying anything, just for the record too.
So in today's market, and we're going to be maybe 5 more minutes. So if anyone wants to post some questions, we'd love to entertain any questions that you have, or we can entertain those questions after the fact, answer those questions. A couple of things that realtors are struggling with right now in today's market. A lot of realtors want to know how to get the listings. Where do I get the listings? Because they're hearing, or the fact is that the inventory is a little light. So we have, more buyers than we have listings. So sellers, it's really crucial when you go on a listing appointment and actually meet a hot seller lead, for example, to be able to get that listing and secure that listing. So a lot of the content that you're going to be sharing with us on the 18th is how to have that listing appointment secure a yes at the end, or actually have the seller volunteer to be listed at the end of it. So that's going to be a huge takeaway, in my opinion, for our event on the 18th. And another area that realtors are working on improving is when they're working with buyers, because the inventory numbers are a little bit light. When they're working with buyers, we have to encourage the buyers to make a competitive offer. We want the buyers we can't be more motivated than the buyers to secure the house. So right now, communicating to buyers that it's important, you're going to be competing with 12 other buyers on this transaction. You have to put your best foot forward. And any tips that we can get for communicating that communication to the buyer or seller is going to be crucial. So I think, any agents that are with us on February 18th, they're going to be taking away some language that's going to help immensely in that, which is going to equate to, more income for yourself, for your family. And that's one of the huge things. So if you want to touch on just for a moment, when we're dealing with customers right now, whether it's a seller who, it's crucial that we get the listing, or a buyer that it's crucial for us to communicate the importance of making a competitive offer, not a competitive offer, but the winning offer. What are some nuggets that you can share in that? And then we'll say our goodbyes and see you again on the 18th.
Okay. So the principle that realtors don't do enough of is the more proactive you are, the less reactive you have to be. All right. What you just did there is what a lot of realtors are doing, where they're telling clients, guys, there's 12 other buyers who are looking at this. Guys, there's this. The interest rates are here. This is where they're likely to go. And it's the realtor saying that information. Big problem, because he's going in one ear and out the other. Daniel, are you married?
Yes.
Okay. You're right. Your wife, has she ever got up in the morning and you said, oh my God, honey, you are so beautiful? And she's like, what are you looking at? All right. Because it goes, if she doesn't feel that way in that moment, it doesn't matter what you say. Mm-hmm. All right. You're making a statement that you believe to be true, but the other person in front of you, if they don't believe it to be true, it goes in one ear and out the other. That's what's happening between the realtors and whether it's a seller or a buyer. And where they're not being proactive is the relationship they want to have with buyers. If you have a buyer that's turning around saying at any point, we'd like to sleep on it, we'd like to, we're going to hold off, the market's crazy, we think there's going to be a crash. If you have a buyer that gets upset with you didn't get back with them in a certain time frame. If you have a buyer that texts you an objection and you're texting back and forth, you're doing amateurville. And these are all things that are so simple to diminish, right? Just purely based on having a communication. All right. And that's about being proactive with those things, so you can anchor back to those moments. And that's what I'll share on this platform. And on the 18th, I'll give even more clarity around those things, if that's something that the audience would like and want to learn.
Yes. And anyone out there, if you're watching, I imagine you'd love to learn this information. And if you would, connect with Todd or myself, and we will get you reserved seating. Now, again, the agents who win venue that we will be hosting in Altamont Springs, there is comfortable capacity for about 25 agents. We've had up to 35 agents in the room before. For those that want to be comfortable, I would definitely consider communicating with us as soon as possible, so we can reserve your seat and you're not stuck in the back standing. So Jamie, it's been incredible. Thank you. And I look forward to spending some time with you on February 18th. I will be bringing my notepad and be taking furious notes like I have done in the past when you're presenting. And I just want to thank you for joining us this morning on behalf of Todd and myself. And hope you have an incredible rest of the week this week. You're in North Carolina, so stay warm. And we're trying to warm up ourselves down here in Florida.
Cheers, Daniel. Thanks for having me. Look forward to seeing everyone on the 18th. Cheers.
All right. Take care.
Take care.